What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today I wanted to go ahead and sit back and discuss with you guys why I personally believe that Ubisoft needed XDefiant to go ahead and succeed. Now, of course, I'm not saying they needed them to succeed for financial reasons, because this game was never going to be financially stable until years probably down the road. That's just how free-to-play games go. Of course, there are the rare occurrences, like maybe Apex Legends, for example, where it drops and it instantly becomes something absolutely massive and it makes bank. But in all reality, XDefiant was going to be a game that had to build its foundation and grow into something that was going to be more popular, where it could bring in a lot of income. But when I say that, Ubisoft needed this IP to, continue and thrive, I mean that they needed it just for the community's sake, for their relationship with their overall community. But ladies and gentlemen, before we go ahead and dive deep into the topic, if you guys are interested in more content just like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. We post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern time. And of course, if you guys are interested in any of my live streams, I do stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, mostly XDefiant and Call of Duty. But of course, if you guys want to go ahead and hang out with me, hop into the open lobbies, or even chat it up, by all means, you can find a link to my Twitch channel down in the description of this video. All right, so now when it comes down to Ubisoft, ladies and gentlemen, me personally, I've never been too big on Ubisoft games, nor did I really keep up with any of the Ubisoft drama. I've always been more of a hardcore Call of Duty type of guy, I enjoy that franchise, and every single time I branch out and go to a different game, I always trickled back to the more 6v6 arcadey experience. That's just what I kind of rocked with. The two games I think I really, dove deep into were Call of Duty and Gears of War. That's why, on this channel, when XDefiant goes away, I think the only game I can really think of that I want to really introduce into, my mix. Of course, I'm a Battlefield head as well, so I do want to discuss Battlefield, but I really want to talk about Gears of War E-Day. I have some topics I want to discuss and, some hopes for the future of the overall franchise that I want to, bring forward to you guys. I don't know how popular it will be because, again, my whole channel revolves around Call of Duty, but that's what I've always bounced back to. You know what I'm saying? Call of Duty, and of course, a little bit of Gears of War for my third-person, shooter fix. So I've always been more into the Activision side of the drama, right? When it comes to Ubisoft, I mean, realistically, I stopped playing Assassin's Creed after Brotherhood, and the main game that I've always played by them was Rainbow Six Siege. But I never really, hyper-focused, Ubisoft while I was enjoying Rainbow Six Siege. But current day, obviously as time has gone on, and clearly I haven't played Rainbow Six Siege in ages either. Now, when XDefiant dropped, a perfect, in my opinion, Call of Duty Alternative. I know not a lot of people are going to agree with me. A lot of people didn't enjoy this game and thought it was, very basic, and that's completely fair. But for me personally, again, this is all opinion-based, I thought it was really, really, really fun. So for me, being a COD head, this was a great alternative. Something on the side I can finally enjoy, so, I don't have to only have Call of Duty to really, present that 6v6 fix. But a lot of people came to me and told me, once again, to be cautious with XDefiant because of Ubisoft. Now, of course, since I really love the developers over at XDefiant in the game itself, I just kind of, shrugged it off a little bit and just continued to enjoy the game. Not really thinking much of Ubisoft, but people have warned me of their disgusting behaviors and how they handle crap for, a while now, and how they have been just an absolutely horrifying company, and more than likely, they're going to go under. I mean, they even went as far as saying that, you shouldn't get used to owning your own games, right? You need to get used to basically renting these bad boys because they should have the right to take them away from you whenever they feel like. And again, like I said, although I love XDefiant, I have to acknowledge that fact that is, some scummy business practices. And Ubisoft has always had a bad reputation. But when XDefiant came out, again, it attracted a lot of people like me who never really, cared for Ubisoft games and, slowly trickled into it. But also, it kind of attracted a lot of people who have been following Ubisoft titles, whether they're still, keeping up with Rainbow Six Siege up to current date, people who might enjoy The Division, Far Cry games, Assassin's Creed games, people who actually really genuinely follow Ubisoft. Although a lot of people were very skeptical, XDefiant gave a breath of fresh air because all of that bad reputation that Ubisoft was getting is kind of it's simmering now, because XDefiant came into the scene with, a completely different attitude, a completely different tone than what Ubisoft was kind of presenting beforehand. Right? They went from saying you shouldn't get used to owning, games to now you have a team with complete utter freedom in a world where a lot of, projects have no freedom whatsoever. Unless you are a indie team working on your own game by yourself and, taking years and years and years and years and years to, to produce something, then, that freedom is not going to be there for you. You are going to be sticking probably to a very strict schedule, and you're going to have to be following a lot of rough, guidelines with no freedom to really express yourself within these games. But again, when XDefiant dropped and they came in with all this communication and activity with the community and really keeping us in the loop, I mean, just seriously, go back to my playlist for XDefiant and watch from beginning to end and just see the communication that they presented to us. Acknowledging things that are going wrong, even if it means it's going to hurt the bottom line. Wouldn't it be easier just to cover certain aspects up? But no, they're open with everything. They let us know everything. They let us know the progress of everything. And at the same exact time, they'll let us know if, it has to be, maybe pushed back the date that it will be resolved. And also, they let us know why they did certain things. If they changed something in the game that we didn't enjoy, we get a reason for why they did so. While at the same time, they'll admit that it was not a good idea, and they respect the community's decision. That type of activity was huge. And like I said before, even people like in the Rainbow Six Siege community were coming in giving XDefiant praise for just what it stands for alone. Not just no-scope-based matchmaking, but actually having an active dev team who gave a shit about their own game. That was huge for a lot of people. And that right there really helped Ubisoft in, some way, shape, or form. In a world where Ubisoft has nothing going for them. They're pulling games left and right, telling people they can't own their own titles, ruining every, huge franchise you could possibly think of that they own, and prioritizing their money in the worst locations. I mean, again, not to be mean or anything, not to be rude, but I'm sure they don't care, nor do they listen to my videos, but seriously, they are really sinking their own ship. They truly are. And XDefiant was that perfect game, although it wasn't stupidly popular. People from all over the place, whether they played it or not, respected how Ubisoft handled and let those developers do what they did and what the game, like I said, stood for. With XDefiant now shutting down, that is completely out of the picture now. Ubisoft has nothing. I mean, they could still go ahead and redeem themselves potentially with the next Assassin's Creed game. You never know how that's going to turn out. And if that goes positive, you never know. Ubisoft could rebuild. But at this current point where we are standing, they have nothing going for them. Nothing. The best thing I could think of is that they, announced an extra year of content for Skull and Bones. And again, I don't want to be mean or anything. I know people play that game, so, people definitely enjoy it. It has an audience of something. But that game didn't even have a higher player count than XDefiant did. I understand why it's being supported. It had a dollar amount behind it, so, they made money, which means they can go ahead and support it. But you guys get what I'm trying to say here? Their priorities are just like, it's kind of like Activision right now with Call of Duty where, they're out of touch. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not really understanding where they currently are. Or maybe they do understand where they currently are and they're not being honest about it with the overall community, which makes them look pretty bad because, while they continuously spew out different things, put out different posts, put support in different areas, the whole community is sitting back here saying, like, what's happening? Why are we going this route when, all of these choices are the complete wrong things that nobody is asking for? And with XDefiant leaving, the one and only thing that brought any positivity to Ubisoft whatsoever, that was the main source of positivity they had, they cut it. And I understand the purposes for cutting it. I understand that they need to move on. It is what it is. I get it. But to me personally, this whole situation is going to hurt Ubisoft's overall image, and they're going to be known as the publisher that literally takes down every single possible game you could think of. They're the developer that says you shouldn't own your games. They take down every single free-to-play game they possibly put out there, so they live up to the term that you shouldn't own your games because they strip them away 24/7. And on top of that, they're letting all their major IPs flunk. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern time. And of course, if you guys are interested in my live streams, I do stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern time. Of course, if you guys want to hang hang out with me, I got a link to that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.